Hi guys, today is February 8th, 2015, and we're about a month away from actually meeting my family in Peru. So I thought I would just kind of summarize my story. If you haven't checked out This Is My Journeyhome.com, you can click on the My Story tab, and it basically explains a little bit about my story from my adoption all the way until my family in Peru found me in late 2013. So what I'm going to try to do is just recap that in a very, very short overview type way to give you a quick background if you haven't checked out the site yet. So I was adopted in 1990 from Peru, and I was adopted with my sister Yadira, and we were adopted by an absolutely incredible woman who came to Peru and spent a few months with us before she took us back to Canada to start our new life. And I had a really great childhood. I really just have really fond memories growing up. My mom was incredibly present and incredibly loving and giving, and I just had incredible memories with my sister. So I don't think that the adoption thing really bothered me in my childhood. It actually wasn't until maybe high school that I started thinking about it more and I started questioning it. I didn't really think that I could talk to anybody about it. I thought that my sister was really the only person that could understand, having been through it herself. But the difference is that I almost remember nothing about Peru. I have flashes of memory, and even then I don't know how much I trust those memories, if they're real. So my sister, on the other hand, has quite vivid memory of our life there, and they weren't happy memories for her. I was just really afraid of bringing up old pain for her, especially since she just seemed to be coping so well in her new environment. So I really just kept it to myself, and I think it manifested in other ways. I was a really, really difficult teen, and I was partying and I was drinking and I was just having a really negative lifestyle, and I was fighting with my mom all the time, and I was staying out all night, and I was just lost, really. And I think I tried to connect with my culture a little bit. Then I was kind of searching for a place where I could belong, because I wasn't, a white Canadian, and I wasn't actually, a true Hispanic either, because I couldn't speak the language anymore, and I just didn't understand the culture anymore either. And then in 2004, my sister moved to Australia, where she was beginning university, and my mom ended up moving over there as well, which is where she's from. I didn't want to start over again, and so I decided to stay in Canada, and my already destructive lifestyle just got a lot worse, and I just immersed myself in this lifestyle of drinking and drugs and really toxic relationships, and it was not a good environment. I didn't understand how bad my life had become, because I was always comparing myself to people that I thought were much worse. And it would take me hitting absolute rock bottom before I realized that I was destroying my life. And that if I didn't make a dramatic change, that I wasn't going to make it. And that if I did make it, that I would be so stuck and entrenched in that lifestyle that I would just never be able to break free, because that would become my identity. There was only one choice, and that was to move to Australia. So I moved to Australia, and with a lot of convincing and support from my sister, I started school. And it was a really, really difficult transition, going from partying and no structure and just doing whatever I wanted to being a full-time student. It was a shock to my system. And I remember being just so lost. And I remember not recognizing any of the concepts and just thinking that I shouldn't be here. I didn't pass grade 10 math or science. I should not be here. I knew then that if I was going to succeed, that I was going to need to focus in a completely different way, in a way that I've never been able to do before. So that's what I did. I just became obsessed. I just became obsessed with learning, and I would eat up everything. And not just stuff for my classes, but I would read books on leadership and success and spirituality. And I would go to any conference that I could afford and that I had access to. I just never felt so alive, and I just knew that I was becoming who I was supposed to be. After I got my business degrees, I landed an amazing job at a university with an amazing team, and I just worked my butt off, and I made some great relationships there, and I was able to get a lot of development and promotions, and I was just happy. So by 2013, I was just in an amazing place. I was expanding my mind. I was working really hard. I was fulfilled in every area of my life. I had amazing relationships, and I was exploring the world, and it was amazing, and I was just in a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful place. So in September, I had just come back from Europe, and I had just been in Perth maybe a few days when I got a friend request from a guy in Peru, and I thought, that's weird, I don't know anyone in Peru, and I really didn't think much of it, and I just accepted it. It just didn't even register anything in my mind. It was just like a reaction just to accept it. So a few days later, he sent me a message saying, I am the son of Daria Ruiz Espinosa. And I was shocked. And after back and forth, and obviously I was initially really skeptical, is this guy who he says he is, and things like that. I was convinced that this guy was who he said he was. He was the partner of a half-sister, actually, that I didn't know that I had. From then, more and more people started adding me on Facebook that were saying that they were my family, and so that was a lot to deal with in that first instance. And then in October, I actually went and met my cousin, Oscar, for the first time, and we met in Madrid. The tale he would tell me about my life and my story about my adoption and my family and the personal struggle of my mom was it was stranger than fiction. It really was, and it was so hard for me to process it. It was a lot to handle. You just meeting someone for the first time, and they tell you the story of your life, and it's from knowing absolutely nothing about your life to learning about how it came about that you were adopted. It was an incredible, incredible story. We organized to have a video chat with my biological mother, and she took a bus ride from Pampas to Lima to video chat with both my sister and my mom here, and it was a surreal experience to see my biological mother and my biological family. I think obviously I saw some similarities in their faces, but it was strange because they were still strangers. She was very emotional, and she just kept saying, I love you, te quiero mucho, over and over, and we kept saying thank you, we love you so much, and thank you for this beautiful gift. I think after everything that happened in seeing my biological mother for the first time over video, I didn't actually realize how much this all impacted me, because I had no negative emotions about anything. I just had an overwhelming feeling of gratitude, and there was just no negative feeling. So I thought that I was coping with it well. But I think it did impact me in ways that I didn't understand on a conscious level. So the end of 2013 would be, very challenging for me, as I was, forced to deal with emotions that I never thought would happen. And in 2014, I just became really clear about what it is that I needed to do with my life. I had an amazing job and I was really happy in my life, but working in that job wasn't my dream. My dream was to have a PhD and pursue something for myself. I would often think about my life juxtaposed with the lives of my sisters who were in Peru. No matter which way I looked at it, I was just incredibly blessed. And I just thought to myself, you know what? I have so many opportunities here. And I'm going to make sure that I live my life in the most full and abundant way that I can. And that I do everything that I can do to express my inner self and reach that excellence and that mastery that I want. And so I made the very challenging decision that I was going to leave an incredible job to pursue my dreams and to get my PhD. It was probably a few weeks after I made the decision that I was going to do that my mom here in Australia had a heart attack and stroke and seizure, and she was in critical care, and we really didn't know what was going to happen with her. And I spent the next month looking after her, and it was challenging to see a woman that was my hero and that was my rock and that was everything to me growing up be so vulnerable and need me so much. And while I was looking after her full time, I started questioning my dream. If I don't take care of her, who's going to take care of her? And with a lot of encouragement from my sister, she said, you need to follow your dreams. This is your dream. So I made that decision to keep going and that we would figure out a way. And when I made that decision that we were going to pursue this and we were going to move forward with this, that this is what my mom would have wanted. She always wanted me to follow my dreams. That she started recovering and she's doing a lot better now. And I just have to have faith that it's just going to keep getting better. I started my PhD in the first week of August, and I just submitted my proposal the other week. And so I'm already 6 months into my candidacy. And now I have this incredible opportunity to go to Peru to meet my biological family for the first time. And I just believe in the synchronicity of life and that everything happens for a reason. And that my family in Peru found me when they did for a reason. And had they found me when I was in a dark place and when I was struggling and when I was searching for belonging, I think it would have added more chaos than anything else. But because I was in a moment of peace and clarity, that this has been the greatest gift. And I know that this journey will be just a roller coaster, and I don't know how this is going to impact me long term. I really don't know what's going to happen when I actually meet them. I know I'll come back changed, but I really don't know the long-term effects, and I don't know anything. So you're on this journey with me. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'll catch up with you soon about how I'm feeling leading up to me going to Peru, and I can't wait to see what's next. Thanks again, and I'll speak to you soon.